Hello, gorgeous ones. Dr. Lucy back. This week we've been talking a lot on optimism, and as I said, I think I must have offended the optimism gods because they certainly challenged me on a Wednesday where I reckon, the worst day I've had for a long time. And then yesterday was just back to normal. So yesterday it was weird. So I still had to deal with Telstra yesterday, and I'm still having to send them text messages because now we need a new modem, and magically that's just not going to happen. But my mindset around that was completely different, having reflected, as I spoke to you lovelies yesterday, on my Wednesday day. So because I'd spent all this energy trying to control a situation which I actually can't control, and I was frustrated and cross and even had a headache, I decided on Thursday not to do that because nobody was winning here. There were no winners, especially not me. So yesterday I did my live here. It was wonderful. And then I just went to myself, whatever will be, will be. I can't control it. Don't bother getting upset. So I didn't. I still on the phone, the texting messaging system, and I'm and look, there's a section in Telstra where you can put complaints in or feedback. And if I want to vent and get that frustration out, that is an effective way to do it. But just exploding in my mind doesn't help anyone. And it's really interesting. I see this a lot on social media where people are upset, frustrated, angry. They don't know what to do with this emotion. So they vent on social media. And it's really unhelpful for everybody, because what happens is that they then get validation, and that's fine. Your feelings are your feelings. You're allowed to have feelings. This is the thing. There is no good or bad feelings. They're just the experience of human emotion, and we have to process them. We're not very good at that. We're not taught how to process. And some of that processing is just time and recognizing that self-reflection that I talked about yesterday, how these emotions are affecting you. So for me, getting upset and angry wasn't helping anybody, and least of all me. It was unhelpful for me to have these thoughts about this situation. So, recently, look, I'm in Melbourne. I'm in lockdown, sort of. We're just coming out, and it's really uncertain, and everybody is frustrated, and there are businesses suffering, and I feel terrible for them. There are also people, though, that I've unfollowed recently because ranting on social media doesn't help anybody. And my thoughts are, if you want to rant your head off, but go and do something about it, okay? Have a call to action. This is what I'm doing with my emotions, feelings, thoughts. I am petitioning somebody. Don't just rant. It's unhelpful for everybody. So part of my self-care, if you like, is to start curating my Facebook page, my social media stuff. Anybody that just rants, gets on and just whinges, I'm not interested. If you've got a legitimate claim and you're getting momentum behind it, and you've got a petition or you've got something that you're doing, go for it. I'm all for that. Activism is wonderful. Ranting, unhelpful. So unhelpful, particularly for the person. They think it's helping, but it's not. Because then all it does is it gathers other people who are disgruntled, and you have then just this communal kind of cloud of disgruntlement with no effective action. And that's unhelpful. So back to, why has this all got to do with real health and weight loss? Because remember, for the majority of people, we eat not because we're hungry. We do a whole pile of non-hungry eating. We eat because we're cross, sad, lonely, bored, happy, habit. They're the reasons that we eat. So it's really about trying to unpack that and learn for yourself what your triggers are that cause you to eat. So as I mentioned on Wednesday, in the past, after that completely rubbish day, I would normally have come home and gone, oh my God, what a day. I'm getting chocolate, or I'm having ice cream, or as happens with women, particularly in their 40s, 50s, 60s, what a day, I'm having wine. And at the end of the day, literally, it's unhelpful. So coming up with more helpful things to deal with you, because you're allowed to soothe. This is the thing. People go, oh, I don't want these emotions. We are humans. We have a huge, broad range of emotions, and we don't know what to do with them. So uncomfortable emotions are sometimes things that we learn to manage, and that sometimes we just sit with them and they will pass. And that's actually the best thing, a little bit like that. My Wednesday, I was uncomfortable, I was cross, angry, blah, blah, blah. Lots of thoughts. Big breath, lots of breathing, eating beautiful food, having a lovely warm cup of my favourite tea in my incredible teacups that I'm loving. Settled. Very helpful techniques for self-soothing. Unhelpful techniques for self-soothing are eating junk food and drinking wine, because your body pays the price for this either that night, that day, or down the track. And when we continue to do those behaviours, they're not bad, they're just unhelpful. Remember, bad stuff is murdering people. Emotional eating's not bad. You're not a bad person, you're not hopeless. It's just a tool that you've been taught that's unhelpful. So back to optimism, and where does that all fit in? Remember, we talk a bit about resilience, and this is really where I feel like I've developed some really good resilience. So Wednesday, terrible day, could have gone on and on because my NBN's not resolved. It's not like my issue's finished and I'm going, oh good, I've still got NBN issues, so it's still there. But my resilience has improved, so I'm no longer affected by it. I've bounced back. Remember, resilience is your ability to bounce back in times of adversity. So, my loves, that's really what I would like to say. Focus on your optimism. When your brain starts giving you all the negatives, and it does, you know, even today I've got a man who comes and helps with my gardening, because remember, muscular dystrophy, not much physical action going on my path. And anyway, he hasn't turned up. Now, in the past, in my head, I would have been going, what do you mean he hasn't turned up? Oh, I'm paying him good money. He should be here. He's meant to come every 2 weeks. We are good customers. We're always paying. Rah, rah, rah. Just taking a breath and going, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, I know that it's not, you know, there's some reason. It's nothing to do with me. There's stuff going on that's outside my control. Now, my options are I could start comparing myself to everyone else that's going on at the moment. I mean, there's been not only lockdown, bloody storms in Melbourne, and people without electricity, and people with no fridges for 4 days. And that can be helpful. Now, the interesting thing about that, you've got to be mindful, because we compare down where we go, oh, well, I could be worse. But also we can compare up where we go, well, how come they've got all of that and I'm stuck here with this? So comparison can sometimes be unhelpful. And I honestly think it's not helpful to practice comparing your situation to others, because we don't always know the full picture. Just compare your situation to yourself, and what can you do to manage your mind about it in a way that is helpful to you? Because at the end of the day, if you don't manage your mind, the only person that suffers is you, and perhaps your husband and your kids if you're cranky. So that's my thoughts. Lovelies, I'm off for a fantastic day. I know I'm going to have a great day today at work, and I will... Actually, Dr. Mary will be back next week for 8 a.m. lives. Remember, if you have any friends, send them to our group. We love talking to people. As you know, we don't stop talking. We can't stop banging on about a lot of this stuff because it's so vital. And, you know, people need to hear it. So please share our group. We want people to come in and, you know, just support each other. Thank you for everyone who participates in our little, tell us your stress stuff, or tell us your management, or tell us your food. We love that. We absolutely love it. And both Dr. Mary and I read them all. So please, pop, we love engagement. That's it for me. Have a wonderful week. End. See you, darlings.